Hi, I'm Chief Leonard George of the Salish Nation. Spirit People is a quarterly report on the lives, traditions, cultures, and spirits of Canada's First People. In each half-hour program, we'll visit Native people in their homes, businesses, or activities to bring you new perspectives on life in Indian country. So join us now as we embark on yet another journey through the lives of Spirit People. This week on Spirit People, Richard Wagamese visits the Indian village at this year's Calgary Stampede. We'll chat with Bruce Starlight about the village itself and take a stroll around to visit with a man who's marketing a new lapel pin, a young Cree woman who's excited about the recent political events, then visit with a well-known activist and talk with Stampede guests about their reactions to the Stampede at Indian Village. All of this on this episode of Spirit People. It's a little quieter around the Stampede grounds now, but a little while ago, this place was alive with the excitement of the Old West. Down at the other end, Spirit People's Richard Wagamese visited the Indian Village.
Since 1912, visitors to the Stampede Indian Village have been pouring in by the thousands. This gathering of Treaty 7 nations is second only to the multi-million-dollar rodeo as the tourists' favorite attraction. In this southwest corner of the Stampede grounds, visitors can visit traditional teepees, sample bannock, immerse themselves in the singing and dancing of the Treaty 7 nations, or just plain visit. That's a big part of it for the Indian people that are involved here, visiting. For some of them, they won't get a chance to see each other for a year or more. So naturally, there's jokes to share, stories to tell, and reconnections to make. Because the Stampede Indian Village is more than just a display of culture. It's a home away from home for the Treaty 7 nations. We talked to Bruce Starlight, chairman of the Indian Events Committee, about the Indian Village.
Well, the Indian Village, it started in 1912, and we've been here since, so that's 78 years. And it's evolved into more or less kind of a business enterprise. From just showing our beadwork and that, we run 2 bannock booths out of here. We'll run a craft shop, and we have the head smashing display and a photo session here. So it's really involved into a small economic enterprise for us here. And we more or less, our budget is about $300,000 a year, and we raise about 10 to 15% of it ourselves through our own efforts. So it's evolved to quite a stage now.
Who all is involved in the organization of the village?
Well, we have a board of directors, of course, from the Stampede. And then under each member of the board of directors, there's a committee. And this is one of them, the Indian Events Committee, which I am the chairman of this year. And it used to be always, white people being the chairman of this committee. And I'm the first Indian chairman that's served since the inception of the village.
How's the reaction been?
Well, it used to be that we complain to the white people, but now the buck stops here. And, it's worked out, and they seem to be a little more. They feel a little more at ease with an Indian chairman, as I see it this year. And we've made quite a bit of changes here in the village in order to accommodate the teepee owners.
What has the reaction of the visitors to the Indian Village been about the general setup?
Well, we've always had a lot of compliments. We've had some, it's mostly our own people that say we're token Indians and all this and that. But I tell you, if I decided to take my teepee down and not come back to the Stampede, there'll be about 10 people wanting my space. So I don't know what the criticism is. If anything, the Calgary Stampede and the people here have maintained our culture over the years.
Why is the Indian Village important, just to the Stampede and to the Indian people themselves?
Well, the original idea from Guy Wiedek was cowboys and Indians. And today, well, you see the $500,000 rodeo, and you see our village here, and we dance for prizes, we compete for prizes in the parade. And it's exciting to be part of the Calgary Stampede.
What's the importance to the Indian people themselves, Bruce?
Well, for myself, it's the opportunity to share my culture with the non-Indians and to maintain our culture. Most of these people here in the village, they still respect the old ways. We still have ceremonies here that you very rarely see on reserves. And it's a chance to, I guess, share our culture with the non-Indian. There's so much misunderstanding today. They think that, we still live in teepees or our culture is dead and all that, but it's a real thrill to be a part of the Calgary Stampede.
This year in particular, I understand there's some improvements on the gate. Could you tell us about that?
Well, Husky and Nova came in as a sponsor, and they've assisted us in better signage for the village. A lot of times when we talk to white people off the grounds, they say, we don't know whether we're invited or not, so we don't come in.
How has that affected attendance, Bruce?
Well, I'd say that Friday and Saturday, the first Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, this village was packed, for all day. So I'd say we got our fair share of the gate attendance because of the improved signage.
Any changes or plans for next year?
Well, we'd still like to have our own entrance here, where they pay to see the village. This is a free attraction. And we still like to make some improvements here on the grounds. And with Head Smashed In coming in, it's made a big difference. They really like the display that Head Smashed In has here.
When we come back, we'll talk to Tony Plum and Linda Chapizia about their visit to the Indian village.
Welcome back to Spirit People. One of the nice things about being able to wander around the grounds here in the Indian village is the fact that you're always wandering into old friends, and we ran into Tony Plum. Tony is a 36-year-old Calgarian who's marketing a pin which says, "Standing proud but forgotten." The pin depicts an Indian and an Inuit, and it's a reflection of Tony's attitude to create more awareness of the situation of Indians and Inuit in Canada. Tony, when did you get the idea for your "Standing proud but forgotten" pin?
Shortly after the minority, Who's the Minority in Canada pin came out. Myself and two other people had thought that when the minority pin came out that it was an honest question, and then everybody got all excited about it, and then they came out with the unity and the harmony pins, and the pins left out the Native and Aboriginal people of Canada. Myself and the two friends decided that they were being ignored as they have by government and everything else, and it was time to put our little statement into the picture, and that's when we got the idea for the Standing Proud.
How did you come up with the idea for the design of the pin itself? Well,
we knew we both had to have both Aboriginal people on it, both of them being ignored, like I say, and with three heads, this is what we came up with, and we were happy with the idea of what we did get.
Okay, give me a little history about where you've been marketing it and the response of the people to the pin.
We've been marketing it at the Crossroads Flea Market, Fire Park Flea Market, and at the Stephen Avenue Mall. We started to market down at the Calgary Exhibition and Stampede grounds, but unfortunately the Stampede Board came up and said that there was no racial pro or con, no political pro or con to be sold, and all the pins had been pulled for the latter half of the Stampede.
And what about people's reaction to the pin where you have sold it? Are they in favor of it or are they against it?
99% think it's a super pin, whether they be Aboriginal or other Canadians or other denominations. They say it's a great pin and it's the truth.
And why is a pin like this important to, say, people that are coming to visit the Indian village at Stampede?
Well, most of the people that visit the Indian village have an interest in the heritage of the country and the Native and Aboriginal people. That's what they bring to these tourists, people from England, Scotland, Germany, and all over the world. They give them the history and the background of our relatively new countries.
Just a comment from you, Tony, about the importance of the Indian village itself to the Stampede.
I think the Indian village is here because, like I say, people from all over the world come and they want to know some background on the Native and Aboriginal people, of which I've learned an awful lot in the last couple of years.
Linda Chapizia is a Cree woman. She's also a University of Calgary student and model, and when we ran into her at the Indian village, she was wearing a unique t-shirt design. It was a depiction of Elijah Harper, the Manitoba MLA who was responsible for the stoppage of the Meech Lake Accord, and naturally, we just had to stop and talk to her about it.
Just recently, with the failing of the Meech Lake Accord, I was watching that pretty closely, and I was very proud that Elijah Harper supported us, the Indian people. And I felt like I couldn't attend any of the rallies or the demonstrations that the Indian people got together in Winnipeg, I think. And I wanted to support him, and I couldn't really be there to meet him or anything like that, so I thought a t-shirt would be a great idea.
Does it have any specific symbolism with the eagle on there?
Oh yes, oh yes. Mr. Harper, while he was in debate in the Legislative Assembly, or with the Premier of Manitoba and the members, he was holding an eagle feather as he was, bringing out the issues that have, been outstanding for Indian people, and I was very proud of that. And
how did it make you feel?
Very good, very good. I'm very, very proud to be an Indian person in Canada today, and I think that in the future it's going to be more positive, for Indian people, and I hope to be a part of it.
And about the Indian village, visiting Stampede this year, how does it feel to be standing in the middle of all this?
I love it. It helps me. Some days I'm not feeling too well. I come here and spiritually, it's very refreshing, from the concrete and so on. So to me, it's very special. It's a lot of significance. And so on. Plus, I know some people here, the Healy family, the Earl Healy, and I have friends here.
Do you think it's an important part of Stampede?
I suppose yes, it is, because in this modern age, I think there are a lot of people, non-natives, that do not understand our culture, that do not understand us too well, and I think this provides them with an awareness, for Indian culture and heritage, and I think that's important.
It certainly looked like things were busy that day. When Spirit People returns, we'll chat with Doreen Spence about her activities in the land of the Spirit People. Doreen Spence wears a lot of different hats. When we visited her in the Indian village, she was wearing the traditional cowboy hat of the Calgary Stampede. But as we'll find out, she wears a lot of different hats in her works and pursuing the rights of Canada's Spirit People.
As usual, I'm quite busy in a lot of different activities. I do take a break for the summer to enjoy the Stampede. Some of the things that I'm involved with and have been since we moved here from Toronto about 12 years ago or so. I've been president of the Plains Indian Cultural Survival School for 9 years. I sit on the City Hall Workforce Analysis, representing Native people in the workplace, and that's been 6 years since I've been on that particular program. I've been involved with the Native Educational Task Force, the city. I sit on the Committee Against Racism, the Aboriginal Rights Support Group. I sit on several other committees, one of which is assisting parents that have children in the school, like for instance, newcomers to our country, the immigrants, or minority groups that are having trouble with any sort of discrimination problems with the school board, and just essentially interacting, I guess, with the parents and helping them out and settling in. So, yes, I have been quite busy. I come here every year and haven't missed 1 year. I partake with the parade, starting with the parade, and usually go right through for the whole 10 days. I love to meet the people from the different countries. I think it's so important to interact with other cultures. I think that's how we come to an understanding and tolerance of each other, being able to interact like that. It certainly gives us a better view. So often there's a lot of discrimination and misunderstanding on behalf of our people. And when you meet us on a one-to-one basis like this, I think there's a lot of that which is clarified. And I think it's an opportunity that we can't miss. We are the First Nations. We're the Aboriginal people of this country, and I think it gives us other people and other cultures a better understanding of us. If we weren't here, then they wouldn't have that opportunity to learn about us. The elders, well, that's a very important part of our tradition. That's where our wisdom comes from, is from our elders. And I think it's very important that our elders be here and others share with them, because I know, like, the essence of white man's education and the wisdom of our elders, you combine those two and you get a very unique person. Well, the elders certainly have come through a lot of experiences in their lifetime, and I think they're more than willing to share this with us. And I think I know it's helped me an awful lot as to my identity, as to who I really am, and what an Indian does believe. They share the sacredness, they share the experiences and the life skills and this sort of thing. You'll never find that in any book. People are beginning to understand that we don't live in teepees on a day-to-day basis anymore, that a lot of us have integrated into this white society, and a lot of us are really living in the white culture. However, like I was saying before, we do have the elders on the reservations in most cases, which we can confide with and seek out their wisdom. I was just coming through the gate just now and watching all the little ones just scrambling about and everything, and from the time you come in the gate to the time you leave, you can see the interactions and so forth with our people in dominant society and the different cultures, and that's very exciting. I think that's where it has to start, is with the little ones, to bring them through that understanding. I think the adults should make that connection with our people. You can do it through the schools and through different stampedes such as this, and the local ones that we have, such as the rodeo out at Sarcee and High River and those places.
When we return, we'll mosey around the grounds and talk with the Stampede visitors about their reactions to visiting the Spirit people. Welcome back. Every year, the Calgary Stampede attracts 1 million or so visitors. It is indeed the greatest outdoor show on earth. While the $1 Million Stampede attracts a whole lot of attention, there's an awful lot of folk who wander through the Indian village. Here's just a sampling of how they felt about it.
Of the dancing in the Indian village in general?
It's absolutely excellent. It's terrific. I don't know where these guys get all this energy. It's unbelievable.
Did you get a chance to visit any of the teepees?
Yeah, a couple of them, yeah.
And what did you think of that?
The workmanship on there, different things. It's just excellent. I don't know how they, so much time, so much work.
I think it's great, and I think it's really interesting.
It's very nice. There's a lot of different categories, and costumes are excellent. They must have put a lot of work into it.
quite impressed by the colours and the dancing. I think it's great what they're doing down here.
I think it's wonderful. Lovely, colourful teepees, and I'm really interested in Native culture, and I find it very interesting every year when I come down here.
This is the first year that we actually were able to get really close and actually see some dancing. And yeah, we really enjoyed it.
I think it's really beautiful. It's just, I don't know much about it at all, but I think it's really beautiful, and it's good to see everybody here.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's colorful and something I like to see once in a while. I don't get a chance to see too much.
Good to have it as part of Stampede?
Oh yeah, well, it's an essential part of Stampede.
I think it's great. Yeah, this is the first place I wanted to come, actually, into the Indian village. It's especially good because to see everyone with their native costumes and sort of a sense of identity and just remembering, you know, how they were before white people came, and a real sense of spirit, you know, and a lot of seems like a lot of good feeling too with everyone here and gathered together. And I've never actually seen the dance costumes before, and they're gorgeous.
Well, that's our program for this time. I really hope that you've enjoyed yourself in visiting Canada's First Nations. On behalf of the Spirit People crew, I am Chief Leonard George, and keep your eye on the near horizon, because we'll be coming your way again very soon with another opportunity to share in the lives of Spirit People.